Всем привет, с вами Элизабет, и мы продолжаем прохождение игры «Бесконечное путешествие». Сейчас мы поднимаемся на утес к нашему другу-великану.
Hey, Quammen, how's the fish biting?
With its teeth, but not today.
Why's that?
Quaman be not certain. The fish always bite before, but then Quaman be having lure. Now no lure, just bait.
What do you need to make a lure?
Quaman can make lure with just anything, as long as it be colorful and not get heavy in water.
You're a real DIY guy, don't you know?
Always be something wrong with Quaman.
That was actually a compliment.
Oh.
What did you need to make a lure again?
Anything, as long as it be colorful and not get heavy in water.
Are you happy now, Quammen?
Quaman be happy. He be wanting fish to bite. But if they do not, Quaman still be happy.
Happy fishing!
Thank you.
Можем дать ему наживку в виде фантика.
Could this wrapper work as a lure?
Yes. Yes, with some work. It'd be perfect for a lure. Now Quaman can make one, and hopefully catch many fish.
А теперь нам нужно отправиться к нашим другим друзьям, которых мы здесь нашли, к людям-палочкам, для того, чтобы поговорить с ними о лунной пушке.
How come you're not working on your lunar cannon now?
Because of that infernal noise is why.
But Quammen has moved back to the Orlowal village. He's not going to disturb you again, trust me.
Really? How the heck did that happen? Nah, I don't care. The important thing is we can work again. Thanks, lady.
If I could somehow get across to that path on the other side, I'd probably be able to make my way into the Elation village. How's it going?
Almost there. Oh, one tiny little problem, though.
And that is?
We don't have a bowstring for our,
Propulsion drive mechanism, Wick.
what he said, yeah, we need a bowstring. Something strong and flexible and sinewy.
Like what?
I don't know, lady. I'm no engineer. I'm just a supervisor.
String made from animal guts would be perfect.
Yeah, but look at us. Do we look like the kind of stickmen who'd make good hunters? Do you see me going after a gate beast carrying what, a cone? A dry leaf sharpened to a razor edge?
Вернемся к великану и попросим у него леску.
don't figure I'll be needing the rod anytime soon, but I'll borrow the line. Did my lure work okay?
It be working very good. Quamon catch a large, tasty fish very quickly. April be wanting a taste?
No. No offense. I'm just not too fond of seafood.
This not be seafood. It be human food.
What's Kwamon gonna be doing now?
Quamon be sitting here until the sun sets. Then he be going to sleep.
And tomorrow?
Quamon be deciding that when he wakes up in the morning.
Man, you got relaxing down to a fine art.
Quamon not be knowing anything about fine art. He be a Philistine.
I'll see you later, Kwamon.
So will I. Goodbye.
Возвращаемся обратно к большому дереву.
Can you use this as bowstring for your, lunar cannon?
Let me see that. Oh yeah, that gonna work good.
All right, listen up. I got us what we need. And now we finish this damn cannon. Go to work, people. Give us a few minutes, lady, and we'll be all done.
It worked.
Of course it worked, you wood-brained fool. I built it.
Are you done?
Yes, ma'am. The lunar cannon is now ready to be tested.
Well,
Well, what?
are you gonna do it?
Do what?
Test the cannon.
Me? And get myself killed? I think not. But go ahead, be my guest.
I don't think I'll fit in there.
That ain't my problem.
I'll just place the hook along the bowstring, like so, and let the rope trail behind it. Okay, we're ready to fire.
Теперь стреляем из пушки и переходим на ту сторону.
Can you help me across?
You are human, and we don't allow human strangers into our village. If you wish to trade, let us know where your ship is anchored, and we will send traders to you with our merchandise.
I don't have a ship, and I didn't come here to trade. I came to talk to your leaders.
I'm sorry, but we don't allow strangers into our village.
What's up this road?
The Elation village of Tamar.
Where's the Elation village of Tamar?
Up this road and into the volcano.
Isn't it dangerous to live inside a volcano?
This volcano has not erupted for thousands of years, and the gods protect us. We are safe here.
Is there another way to get into the volcano?
No. This pass is the only way.
I'm sure there's a secret cave somewhere that leads into the volcano.
No, there isn't.
There's always a secret cave.
Not here.
Are you absolutely sure there's no secret cave?
Human, you talk too much, even for an elation.
Actually, I am a trader.
Where is your ship anchored?
In, Coconut Grove?
There is no coconut grove on Elias.
So, I'm not a trader, but I am a friend of the Elation people.
We don't know you. There is no friendship between strangers, human.
Don't your people have a prophecy about a stranger who comes without a ship, or something like that?
I don't know of any prophecies, human.
What kind of prophecies do you know about?
We don't tell our stories to strangers.
Thank you.
Yes, but you must leave now.
Снова мы должны использовать наши зелья. Так, нам нужно зелье ветром и зелье, которое нас делает легким. Возьмем зелье ветра и применим его на расщелину.
That's the last of it, unfortunately. There's a slight updraft here. The wind is channeled through that chasm down there and blown out and up here. Dust and dry leaves caught in a strong updraft.
Теперь можем применить зелье легкости на Эйприл.
Oh, God, I think I'm gonna throw up. That was so not appetizing. Weirdest thing, though, I do feel lighter. Like I lost 90 pounds. I can't even imagine what people would pay for this stuff back home. Ah!
Human, you flew across the chasm. You don't have wings, but still, you fly like the elation.
Believe me, I'm as shocked as you are.
Are you the Windbringer?
Yes, I am.
This is an exciting day.
Remind me again who the Windbringer is.
It's said that someone not of the elation shall come among us to float on the wind like an elation, to learn our stories, to bring the wind back to us, and to bring us into a new and happier age.
Is that all? You know, I'm starting to forget how simple my life used to be. Family, friends, grades, boys, no prophecies, nobody looking to me for salvation.
I don't understand, Windbringer. You should speak with our teller up in the city. She'll be wanting to see you, I'm sure. We've waited for the Windbringer for a very long time.
The teller? Thanks.
No, Windbringer, thank you.
Пробираемся в город.
Hello.
Good day, stranger. What would you hear among the elation?
I need to speak with the teller.
The teller? Go down into the city and you will see the castle. The teller, she keeps to the tower. She's old and her eyes don't take well to the sun.
Hi there. What you doing?
Playing?
Yeah, what are you playing?
Nothing. My dad is in the castle watch. He's allowed to sharpen his claws.
Really? My daddy owns a farm.
Yeah? Do you have animals there?
Sure. He has some cows and some horses and...
What's cows and horses?
Well, cows are big, brown, fat animals with 4 legs and white spots. And they go moo a lot.
And horses?
Horses are fun to be around. They run really fast and they can jump over tall fences and they look beautiful and graceful. But the best thing about horses is that you can ride them.
I can run fast, too. But I can't fly yet. My wings aren't fully formed. When I grow up, I'll fly far away and see everything. I'll go see our horses.
That would be nice. My name's April. What's yours?
Saina, will you be my friend, April?
Of course, Saina, as long as you promise to be my friend.
I promise.
Do you know where the teller lives?
Over there in the castle tower. My daddy's watching the entrance so that only nice people can get in.
Do you think he'll let me in?
I don't know if you're nice, but you have to ask my daddy.
Have fun, Saina.
Are you leaving?
Yes, I'm sorry, but there are some things I have to do.
Grown-ups are always too busy.
Halt! Who would visit the teller?
I'm the Windbringer.
The Windbringer? You are not the Windbringer. Are you?
How else would I have been able to get up here? I am the Windbringer.
If so, you must prove that you are of the Elation. There are 4 tales from the 4 corners of the world that you must know by heart. They are the tale of winds, the tale of stars, the tale of sea, and the tale of homecoming. I will ask you 1 question from each tale, and you must answer each correctly, or you cannot be the Windbringer. Are you ready?
No, give me some time to prepare.
Then return when you are ready, and I will test your knowledge of the 4 tales.
Будем искать предание. И сначала спросим у девочки.
Hi, Saina.
Hi, April.
Do you know one of the 4 tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
Yes, my mommy taught me the tale of the stars. It's a really pretty story. Do you want me to tell it?
Please, Saina, I would like that very much.
Okay. This is my tale, the tale of stars, and I tell it to you in my own words, as it was told to me by my teacher in her words. In the small village of Jinjay near the rumbling hills of Onion, there lived a girl called Mona. She was a curious girl, and she would always get in the way of grown elation. Go play somewhere else, they would say to Mona, but she didn't want to play with the other children. She wanted to be where the grown-ups were, to see what they were doing, and learn from them. But one day, after getting many complaints from the pottery makers, and guardsmen, and traders, and soldiers in the village, Mona's mother told her that she wasn't to interfere with the grown-ups anymore, and that instead she could go play with the other children, or sit still and draw or work with clay. But Mona was always curious, and now, since she wasn't to be among the grown elation anymore, she decided to go exploring the forest that lay just outside of the village of Jinjay. She had many times been forbidden to enter the forest because it could be a dangerous place, but Mona was very curious. Of course, she wasn't planning on going far into the forest, but then her eye caught sight of a white flufftail hopping through the tall grass, and Mona, curious as ever, gave chase. The flufftail ran away into the forest, and Mona followed, blind to where she was going and interested only in catching the white flufftail so that she could keep it as a pet. But then, after a good while, the flufftail disappeared into a hole in the ground, leaving Mona alone in a small clearing, somewhere deep inside the forest. She was exhausted after running after the flufftail for so long, and as she looked around the clearing at the unfamiliar trees and flowers, she realized that she hadn't been paying attention to where she was going. Not for the first time her curiosity had gotten the better of her, but this time it was serious. Mona was too young to fly, and she had very little sense of direction, and chasing the white flufftail had made her dizzy and tired. It was getting darker, and Mona was all alone in the deep, dangerous forest, too sleepy and too scared to be able to go anywhere. Mona curled up with her wings wrapped around her under the leaves of a tree and began crying. Soon it got really dark, and somewhere, not far away, wolves started howling at the moon. Mona was so scared she was petrified, but after a while her exhaustion got the better of her, and she fell asleep. She woke up when she heard a voice calling her from somewhere far above. Looking up at the starry sky, Mona saw a vision of the spirits of 5 tellers gazing down at her. "You have let your curiosity lead you astray," said one. "You are lost, and you deserve to be lost," said another. "Poor little girl," said a third. "We will help you home," said a fourth. "But remember this," said the 5th spirit. "We will lead you back to your village and to your mother only if you promise us one thing." "I promise," said Mona. "Whatever it is, I promise I will do it." "Very well," said the 1st spirit. "You will make the story of this night into your own tale, and you will call it the Tale of Stars." "It will be a tale to warn the curious to be careful," continued the 3rd spirit, "and to not let their curiosity get the better of them. And," said the 2nd spirit, "to remind the elation that the spirits of their tellers watch out for them when they most need it." And so the spirits of the 5 tellers guided Mona through the forest, and by dawn she was home. And Mona did tell her tale, the Tale of Stars, to everyone in the village, so that everyone would remember that the curious must be cautious, and that the spirits of the tellers are always watching. This was my tale, the Tale of Stars, and I told it in my own words as my teacher did to me.
That was a beautiful tale, Saina.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Saina.
You're leaving again? I wish you could stay.
Me too, Saina, believe me.
Следующее предание мы получаем у алатийца, который сидит возле входа в город.
Do you know one of the 4 tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
Mine is the tale of sea, human.
Would you mind telling it to me?
I would be happy to do so. This is the tale of sea, told in my own words, as it was told to me by my teacher in his words, and to him by his teacher in his words. This was a very, very long time ago, when the elation were a strong people, and we could spend days riding the hot winds above the seas. We hunted fish then, and we were at war with the Merum, the wet-tails. Acalis was one of the strongest warriors there was. His claws were sharp and long, his beak pointy, and his teeth strong. Acalis was admired by everyone in his clan, and because of this he was cocky and arrogant. So one day, the teller of Acalis city asked him to perform a very important and very special duty, to bring a sacred jewel to the teller of an elation town across the sea. This particular jewel was very important because it signified a union between the two towns, and it would benefit the people of both that it was delivered safely and promptly. Acalis grinned and told the teller that he would deliver the jewel both quickly and safely, and that she was not to worry. But the teller did worry, because Acalis was young and too sure of himself. But she wanted to test him, and to teach him that sharp claws, a pointy beak, and strong teeth are not all a warrior needs, that a warrior must also be wise and careful. So Acalis set out across the sea on his flight. It was on the fourth day that he spotted something in the water that caught his attention, and forgetting his duty and following his curiosity, Acalis dived towards the water to investigate. When he came closer, he saw that there were merum in the water, foolishly hunting close to the surface, and Acalis saw an opportunity to again prove his might as a great warrior to his people, and to capture the fins of a few wet-tails. But this time, Acalis' arrogance got the better of him, because the merum had set a trap. As he dived towards the merum with his claws, a spear shot up from the water to hit him. Acalis struck the water and dropped the jewel he was carrying, and it was all he could do not to drown. Acalis was bleeding, and the merum were grabbing onto his wings and his legs, but he fought bravely, and finally he managed to escape. But even though he now lived, he was dead inside, because the shame of losing the sacred jewel would always be with him. Acalis could not return to his village, because he had neglected his duty to his teller and to his people, and so he went away to a small island where he could be alone. To himself and his people, Acalis now became the lost one. He who had been on a sacred mission, but had failed in his arrogance. A year passed, and one day Acalis met with human traders from a ship that came close to his island. From the traders, Acalis heard speak of a hideous creature that lived in the sea, the Octowo. The Octowo was said to have a third eye, like a jewel, and that this eye pulled hapless sailors into its deadly eight-armed grasp. Acalis knew immediately that the Octowo's third eye had to be the jewel that he lost in the sea a year ago, and he now saw the opportunity to redeem himself. But Elation was not used to water, and the thought of submerging himself in the cold, harsh ocean chilled Acalis to his heart. But he was the lost one, and if in his death he could at the very least redeem himself, to his own heart then it would be worth it. So Acalis fashioned himself a spear, because in the water his claws and his beak would be too slow, and he flew out to where the Octowo was last seen. And then Acalis dived into the sea. The dark water closed in on him, and his wings and legs went numb. But still Acalis kept pushing down until he saw the lair of the Octowo. Spotting Acalis, the Octowo attacked, and Acalis saw the monster's third eye, his sacred jewel, shining bright in the darkness, and his heart was filled with a sense of duty and courage that he had never felt before. But as he began fighting the eight-armed monster, Acalis realized that if he were to fight like he usually did, he would not stand a chance. He would have to think differently. And so Acalis tricked the Octowo into following him through a tight chasm where the monster got stuck. And then he swam above it, and using his spear, tipped a rock on top of the Octowo.
Swimming back down again, the octo was flailing helplessly. Now, almost out of air, Acalis took the sacred jewel from the octo's head and swam back up. Finally, Acalis could deliver the sacred jewel to the town across the sea, and upon returning to his village, he went to the teller, bowed his head, and said, "Forgive me, teller, for in my arrogance I thought I could do everything. But I could not, and I became the lost one because of it." "You were lost," said the teller, "but you are no more. Because now you see the limits of your own strength, and you will know that a warrior must be careful and wise, in addition to being strong and fierce." This was the tale of sea, and I told it in my own words, as told to me by my teacher.
Третье предание нам расскажет стражник.
Do you know one of the 4 tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
Mine is the tale of winds, Windbringer. Do you wish to hear it?
Very much.
Then I shall tell it. This is the tale of winds, my tale, and I pledge to tell it in my own words, as told in turn by my teacher. In the village of Karan, in the mountains of tall winds, there lived a young Alatian woman named Iwana. Iwana had one desire above all others, to soar higher and farther than anyone else. And even though her wings were no broader, nor her body sleeker than anyone else's, she pursued this foolish desire without rest. And as time passed, she did soar higher, and she did fly farther than the other young Alatian in her village, and her name became known far and wide amongst the tribes of the mountains of tall winds. But still, Iwana was not happy. She was not happy because, in her vanity, even though she was a better flyer than almost everyone else, and to her eyes, she was still not good enough. She wanted to be so much better than anyone else that she would be remembered for all time as the best flyer amongst all the Alatian. And so one day, Iwana decided to climb to the top of Mount Bakta'ana, the Tower of Light, and to soar from those giddy heights to the ends of the world. Her friends and her family pleaded with her not to, because every Alatian knew that to soar from such heights was dangerous, that at such heights the air was thin and the winds treacherous. But Iwana would not listen, and on a cold and clear morning she climbed up the Tower of Light to the rock and the ice at the very top. From there she could see to the ends of the world. And it brought tears to her eyes to know that now, finally, she would be greater and better than any Alatian before her. And so Iwana spread her wings and leaped off the mountain. Those who watched her from far below said that for a split moment Iwana soared, and she soared higher and farther than any Alatian before or since. But then the treacherous winds caught a hold of her, and the thin air made her plummet towards the ground, and to fall to her death amongst the rocks at the base of the mountain. In her vanity, Iwana could not see beyond her desire to be the very best. And vanity always stands to fall. That was the tale of winds, my tale, and I told it in my own words, as told to me in turn by my teacher.
И четвертое нам расскажет женщина, которая делает горшки.
Be careful, don't come too close. I'm almost done with this pot.
Sorry.
Are you here to buy pottery? I didn't think traders were allowed up here.
No, I came to speak with your teller.
Really? I didn't know the teller spoke with anyone from the outside. You must be a very special girl.
Supposedly. My name's April, by the way.
Nima is my name. Nima of Ta'ama, the only Elation village on Elase.
Do you know one of the 4 tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
I had to learn the tale of homecoming. It took a long time, but I think I got it now. I'm better with pottery than I am with the tales, unfortunately. Do you want to hear it?
Please.
Very well. This is the tale of homecoming, my tale, and I shall tell it in my own words as told to me by my teacher, in her words, and by her teacher in turn. Moran was a handsome young Elation man with strong wings and a hardy beak. He lived below the white cliffs, where the water was salty and the fish plentiful. Moran was betrothed to Inara, the loveliest girl there ever was. She was fair and slender and tall, and her eyes were the clearest shade of blue. But Moran was hesitant to enter into union with Inara, to become her husband and to give her children. He would always come up with a new excuse for why they had to wait a little while longer. Now, Inara was skilled at pottery, but even more so with stories, and the teller of the village had many times asked Inara to be her apprentice, to learn all the tales, so that someday she could take over as the teller. But Inara refused, knowing that if she did accept the teller's offer, she would never be able to marry Moran, because a teller cannot have a husband nor children of her own. Her refusal to become the teller's apprentice was unheard of, because who could refuse such an honor? But to Inara, love was more important. Her love for Moran was beyond honor, beyond reason. But despite Inara's love, Moran was still hesitant. And then one day he told Inara, "I am traveling on a pilgrimage to the far shores. I will be gone for some time, and while I am traveling, and in accordance with our traditions, I will be freed from our betrothal. Not until I come back will the bond between us be renewed." It was not unusual for a young Elation man at that time to go on a pilgrimage, and the bond between the betrothed would often be cut while he was away, to be formed again upon his return. But Inara was heartbroken, because she had thought that Moran would soon want to marry her. When Moran saw her tears, he said to her, "Do not weep. When I come back, I promise I will marry you. Just wait for me, and stay with your pots, to make the time pass quickly." And then Moran left on his pilgrimage to the far shores. Many years went by, and Moran had exciting adventures on the far shores. But by and by, he began to long for home, and for Inara, and now he had finally realized that he loved her, and that he wanted to marry her. But when he returned, he could not find Inara amongst the potmakers. He went to visit her family, and they told him that, after waiting for many years, Inara accepted the teller's offer of apprenticeship. And that when the teller left on the last wind during the previous winter, Inara herself became the new teller. Angry, Moran made his way to the teller's nest, and when he saw Inara, he said to her, "You promised me you would wait." But Inara did not say a single word in answer. She just turned around and lifted something wrapped in leaves from the cot behind her and gave it to Moran. Moran unwrapped the package, and inside he found an old pot, cracked and broken in two. "What is this pot?" he asked. "And why did you not wait for me like I asked you to?" And finally Inara spoke, and she said to Moran, "I made this pot for you, my dear Moran, when you left, because I wanted it to be my marriage gift to you. But when many, many years passed, I finally realized that you did not love me the way I loved you, and to live hoping otherwise would be death." "But I want to marry you," cried Moran. "I came back." But Inara just nodded at the broken pot in Moran's hands and said, "Like an old pot that is left without care, a heart may break in two, and a broken heart can never be mended." And so Inara turned away, never to speak with Moran again, and Moran's heart, like the pot that was left untended, broke in two, because absence makes a heart brittle. This was the tale of homecoming, my tale, and I told it in my own words as told to me by my teacher, and as I will tell it to my student when the time comes.
Thank you, Nima.
You're welcome, April.
А на этом все. Всем удачи, всем пока. Увидимся в следующей серии.